Welcome to the Sacred Emergence Podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Wong, and I'm so thrilled that you're here. This is a place where you'll be guided to living your most aligned life so that your truest, most radiant self can emerge. We'll be jamming on topics ranging from spirituality, entrepreneurship, to wellness and lifestyle design, and everything in between that can support you to grow, evolve, and shine, all the while not taking ourselves too seriously. So if you're ready to step into your leadership, break through limiting beliefs, own all of who you are, and expand in abundance, grab yourself your faith cup of tea and let's dive in. Hey, how's it going? It's Michelle Wong. Welcome to another episode of Sacred Emergence. It is, again, a solo episode, so welcome. If this is your first time tuning in, hello. And again, if you're a returning listener, welcome back. Always love you. So, yeah. The past few episodes that I've shared, it was around Big Dreams in HD. I was doing like a mini series on Facebook Live just to share my travel journeys along with human design. And just to let you all know that it is, I'm 3 episodes in and sharing, and I don't have any new updates. So you're actually all caught up. Just want to let you know that. And so obviously, as I have more episodes, I'll be sharing it through the podcast as well as through the Facebook Live. But what I did want to talk about today is energy leaks. And this is something that was happening for me earlier this month in January, actually all throughout January. And January is, 2021. It's been an interesting month for, I would say, the most of us. And I realized that, coming back to human design, and if you're a first-time listener or you don't know human design, definitely Google it. Human design is something that I use in my work, and it's like one of those foundational things, one of those foundational systems. But for me, I was realizing that, as a manifester, my work, my flow is I'm designed to rest a lot. I'm designed to be in recharging mode, resting mode until I get like an inspirational download. And if it's a yes in my body, if it's a yes through my authority, then let's do this. And once I'm in that urge, then I get the energy to complete that task, that project, or whatever it is that's inspiring me. And so I realized that in January, I had very small, mini urges, I feel this urge to create this post. I feel this urge to, take these photos of these selfies that I do. And if you're not aware, what's selfies? Selfography through Paula Ivy. Paula Ivy, I've interviewed her in the past. I'll share her episode in the resources section in the show notes, but that's one of the ways that I love actually embodying me and creating my own, content and flow, because it's just a beautiful way to capture that energy. And January was one of those months where I wasn't really feeling it. And when I sat back to think about it, I realized, there's actually a few energy leaks where I'm actually tolerating. There's things that I'm tolerating right now where I'm not using my voice. I'm not speaking up. I'm not taking a stand for myself. And this is nothing to do with business. This is my own personal life. But because I'm tolerating the energy, I'm tolerating my boundaries getting compromised, right? It's allowing for energy leaks. And because of these energy leaks, I'm actually pretty tired. I'm drained. I'm not getting enough sleep. And when I'm not getting enough sleep, I'm not completely functional, right? The urges, the divine downloads don't come through for me. And this is, I would say, not good quality sleep. Affects everybody, but especially for those in human design, if you don't have your sacral center defined, if you're a reflector, a manifester, or a projector, sleep is super important, good quality sleep. If you're a manifesting generator or generator, if you're in your zone, if you're in your joy and you're doing work that just lights you up, sleep is less important. But obviously when you're sleeping, you want good quality sleep, right? You don't want to be woken up half the night all the time. So that's just, something to chew on. So with energy leaks, I realized that there were so many things I was tolerating that it was actually affecting my own power. And so there were a few things in my life that I just had to address, particularly around using my voice and speaking my truth. When we speak our truths, even if there might be potential confrontation, it's incredibly powerful. So I started to close up energy leaks. And the more I started doing that, the more I felt like, okay, things are coming back into alignment. And it felt really good. And one of the things that I got clarity on is, even with my private Facebook group, Sacred Emergence, I decided that I'm going to close the group. And so actually this episode is coming out February 1st, which is a Monday. I'm closing my group today. And before, it was kind of on my mind, like, should I keep this around? I love the women who are in the community. But when I first opened up that community, it was late 2019 or fall of 2019. This was before I started working with human design more as an integral part. And so the direction of my Facebook group was different. It was actually created for a 5-day confidence and courage masterclass. Sorry, it was actually a challenge that I created. And my brand and who I am has changed since then. Even though the content was still impactful and full of value that I shared, I realized that I allowed the group to lead me, versus really taking ownership and just saying, you know what, people were coming into the group because they wanted to learn about human design. And I was pretty clear that this is not a human design group. So if it's not a human design group, then what is it? And it's called Sacred Emergence. And my podcast is, Sacred Emergence, but I don't share my podcast in there. So what am I doing? And so there was just a lot of holes that I was, not really clear with the direction of the group, except that I was sharing a full moon and new moon card pull every full moon and new moon. Outside of that, sometimes I did Facebook Lives on there, but I felt like I wasn't really serving the women in the community the way that I really wanted to. And I feel like for 2021, there's going to be massive shifts. And really, at the end of the day, the more I can call back my energy and really just allow for, it's almost like having a more concentrated me in my body, with less fingers and toes and all these little areas of oh, I'm also part of this, I'm also part of that, I'm also doing this, also doing that. The more I can just call back my energy and have it in a very concentrated way, the more potent my work is going to be. So that's an example of something that I took action to really to just harness back my energy, so that I can move forward in a way where it's when it's go time, it's I'm all systems go. And so I encourage you to look in your life, where might you be allowing energy leaks, right? It might not even be business. It's just maybe things that you're not addressing, or people stepping over your boundaries, or you're not speaking your truth and you're just tolerating it. It's just easier to go with, keeping the peace, where really it's not. If something keeps paying back to you, right, and bothering you, then I really encourage you to take action and do something about it. And I know that for myself, February is going to be quite an intense month. I am doing a goddess quest, oh my goodness, for 22 days in February. And this might be one of the more, I'll say, intentional, more present required quests, and one that might be the most activating, because when I thought about doing it, I had so much resistance. But at the same time, 2021, my theme word for this year is goddess 2.0, basically, because it was the same one as last year. But last year, I was on and off with it. I had it was kind of willy-nilly with it. Sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, goddess. Okay, what does that mean? But this time, I really want to embody the goddess energy. But I get to define what that means. And it's also kind of intimidating, because when you think of the word goddess, you think of this super powerful, glowy, very strong yet feminine, grounded, feminine presence. And I just wanted to make sure that, okay, like this is what does goddess mean for me? So this is something I get to explore for the next 22 days and then share it on social media. So that's what I had for you today. Today's a short episode, but really it's all around like knowing yourself enough and knowing when you're out of alignment. And that can show up in so many different ways, but oftentimes it's because there's energy leaks. There's something that's happening in our lives that we're not addressing, that we're letting kind of take over. And it might be like, like the more you know yourself, the more you know when you're off kilter. And so I knew that for me, talking about human design, I just knew that I'm not getting these urges that I'm designed to receive. And I'm tired a lot. Something is off. And when I looked closely, there were a few things that were off that I really had to give my voice to. As a manifester, my voice is my power. And I was silencing myself. And so where in your life are you allowing for energy leaks, and what do you need to address? What do you need to do to close up those energy leaks? And sometimes it's just one thing, right? It doesn't have to be this huge thing, but it could be just one thing that's been niggling you that you just need to stop and replug your energy back in so that you can call your power back. So nothing is draining you. And once you have that, things become more clear, or it allows for things to be more clear, or at least it allows you to be able to just have more peace, right, for yourself, and allowing you to head in that direction without being sidetracked, without having all these pings that's coming to you and distracting you and all of that. So that's what I wanted to share. If that resonated with you, please share this. I love when people share my episodes. You can hashtag me on Instagram, not hashtag. You can just tag me on Instagram at michellewong.xo. You can share it in stories. And if you want to learn more about human design, I will share links in my show notes. I offer readings, and I also do more embodiment coaching and guidance so that you can fully step into your power using human design as a framework. And one of the things that I feel is really important when it comes to human design is that we don't use it as our Bible. Right? At the end of the day, I'm all about sovereignty, and we use human design as a framework, and it's a beautiful framework, but it isn't our boss, right? You have permission to do what you want to do, but human design is allowing as a template to show you where you might be off kilter. For me, I knew that I had a lot of energy leaks, and that was happening because I wasn't getting a lot of divine urges, divine downloads, and I was tired a lot. And knowing as a manifester, I get to have my rest cycles. That's important for me. And knowing the distinctions in my body allowed me to see in my chart and all of that. Basically understanding my human design, I knew that something was off. It's all about, the little shifts that bring us back to ourselves, our true selves. And when we can operate in our more aligned capacity, then it gives us more of the energy to create and produce, and to be more in alignment and more joy, and really, living our life to the fullest. So feel free to reach out. I'll share links in the show notes, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful week. And until next time, take care. Thank you for listening to the Sacred Emergence podcast. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and thank you in advance for sharing this with others who can benefit. Until next time.